Academia prides itself on rational debate. Scholars are expected to resolve disagreements through evidence, logic, and careful argument, but intellectual history tells a different story. Behind many famous discoveries lie fierce rivalries, bitter disputes, and personal conflicts. Some academic disagreements have lasted decades, others have divided entire disciplines. From battles over mathematical discoveries to philosophical confrontations about the nature of society, academic feuds reveal something surprising. Even the most brilliant thinkers are still human. Academic feuds often begin with a simple problem. Two scholars develop competing explanations for the same phenomenon. At first, the disagreement may be purely intellectual, but as careers, reputations, and institutional prestige becomes involved, the debate can quickly become personal. Recognition matters in academia. A discovery can bring prestige, influence, funding, and historical legacy. When two thinkers claim the same discovery or defend incompatible theories, the stakes can become extremely high. One of the most famous academic feuds in history occurred between Isaac Newton and Gottfried Wilhelm Leibniz. Both men independently developed the mathematical foundations of calculus in the late 17th century. At first, their work circulated quietly among mathematicians, but soon a dispute emerged. Who invented calculus first? Newton supporters accused Leibniz of plagiarism. Leibniz supporters argued that his work was original. The controversy escalated dramatically. Newton, who was president of the Royal Society, even helped oversee an official investigation into the matter. The investigation concluded that Newton was the true inventor, but historians later revealed that Newton himself had secretly influenced the report. The feud divided European mathematics for decades. British mathematicians followed Newton's method, continental mathematicians followed Leibniz. The dispute slowed mathematical progress for years. Another famous intellectual rivalry occurred between Sigmund Freud and Carl Jung. Freud, the founder of psychoanalysis, initially viewed Jung as his intellectual successor. Their early collaboration helped spread psychoanalytic theory across Europe, but over time major disagreements emerged. Freud believed human behavior was primarily driven by unconscious sexual drives. Jung believed a broader theory involving mythology, symbolism, and what he called the collective unconscious. Their philosophical differences eventually became irreconcilable. The relationship collapsed and Jung left the psychoanalytic movement entirely. The split created two distinct schools of psychology that continue to influence psychological theory today. Philosophy has also seen dramatic intellectual clashes. One famous example occurred in 1971 when Noam Chomsky and Michel Foucault debated the nature of human nature itself. Chomsky argued that human beings possess innate cognitive structures that shape language and morality. Foucault rejected this idea, emphasizing how social institutions and power structures shape human thought. The debate became legendary. It revealed not only philosophical disagreements but also two fundamentally different visions of knowledge and society. Academic disputes often become personal for several reasons. First, scholars invest enormous intellectual effort into their theories. Criticism of an idea can feel like criticism of the thinker themselves. Second, academic recognition is limited. Only a few individuals may receive credit for a major discovery or theory. Finally, intellectual identity plays a powerful role. Scholars often spend decades developing particular frameworks of research programs. When those frameworks are challenged, the response can be emotionally intense. despite their drama, academic feuds are not always harmful. In many cases, intellectual rivalry can stimulate progress. Competing theories force scholars to clarify their arguments and gather stronger evidence. The rivalry between Newton and Leibniz accelerated mathematical innovation. The disagreement between Freud and Jung expanded the scope of psychological theory. Even heated debates can produce new ideas. However, academic feuds can also have negative consequences. Personal hostility can divide research communities, discourage collaboration, slow intellectual progress. In extreme cases, entire disciplines become fragmented into competing factions. When debates shift from evidence to personal attacks, the pursuit of knowledge can suffer. Academic feuds reveal an important truth about intellectual life. Science and scholarship are not purely abstract activities. They are carried out by human beings with ambitions, emotions, and competing visions of the world. Understanding this human dimension helps us see academic history more clearly. Discoveries do not emerge in isolation. They emerge within communities filled with cooperation, competition, and sometimes conflict. Academic feuds may seem strange in a world devoted to rational inquiry, but they are a part of the messy human process through which knowledge evolves. Disagreement forces scholars to defend their ideas, refine their theories, and confront alternative perspectives. Sometimes those disagreements become personal, sometimes they become legendary, but in many cases they also push intellectual progress forward. The history of ideas is not only a history of discoveries, it is also a history of debates, rivalries, and passionate arguments about the nature of truth. In the next episode of Oddities in Academia, we explore why academic writing often feels impossibly difficult to read, and how jargon, technical language, and intellectual fashion shape the way scholars communicate ideas.